Hello friends, welcome back to VOW IAS. Welcome to the mains test series discussion of Vision IAS. This is test 7 of mains test series and this is part 4 where we will discuss from question number 16 to question number 20. And before we begin, a small information, the document that we are using for this discussion is the summary document that we have prepared. What we have done is we have concised the 40-50 pages summary into 10 to 15 pages so that it will become easy for you during your revision. If you want to subscribe to these summaries, this is the price, and you can check the quality of these summaries from our Telegram channel. The details will be in the description. Now let's quickly begin. So 16th question. 16th question is with regarding to the PM Jan Aarogya Yojana. So this PM Jan Aarogya Yojana, it was launched in 2018. This was recommended by the National Health Policy 2017. It's the world's largest health insurance scheme. It provides health cover up to 5 lakhs per family per year for secondary and tertiary care hospitalization across the public and private sector empaneled hospitals. So this is basically to provide health support to the people, because health, if you see, this is one of the most basic necessity and one of the most common thing, and because of this health, because of the health issues and health spending, the people are being pushed into poverty. The amount of money that people are spending actually is much more. Okay, because of this out of expenditure, because of this high out of expenditure, the people are being pushed into poverty. So that's why the government has launched this insurance scheme. The significance of this scheme is it will help India to achieve universal health coverage and also achieve the SDG. It will be cashless and the quality secondary and tertiary healthcare services will be provided. PM Jan Aarogya Yojana reduces out of pocket expenditure, 49% of total health expenditure. It mitigates the catastrophic expenditure on treatment. I just told you that there is high out of pocket expenditure, and which is approximately 49%. So this will help the people to reduce their out of pocket expenditure, and further they will not be pushed into poverty. It strengthens the public healthcare via infusion of insurance revenues. It enables creation of new health infrastructure in rural, remote and underserved areas. It enhances the population level productivity and efficiency, leading to improvement in quality of life. All of these things are there. Now, what are the issues with this PM Jan Aarogya Yojana? What are the issues? Issues, if you see, first is the registry of hospitals in network of insurance data. Only 3% of private hospitals are eligible for Ayushman Bharat scheme. The second is beneficiaries can go to only a list of empaneled hospitals. And this remains a major problem, particularly in small towns and villages where hospitals are few and far. There is a limiting role of the government in welfare activities. The private sector is expected to provide all types of care and treatment. And the poor states cannot provide their share of funds, 40% of the total expenditure, and that keeps them deprived from the money allocated to the government of India. It does not cover all target groups, and many of those enrolled were compelled to pay the COVID-19 treatment on their own. The coverage of medicines post-discharge up to 15 days is also there, and because of this large number of patients, they generally need long term, but covering this only up to 15 days is something which is worrisome. And also in private sector hospitals, we are seeing huge corruptions. Also the charge or the money that these private hospitals charge is huge, because as the patients bills are paid by the government, what they are doing is they are involved in this corruption and they are charging huge sums to the government. That is also another issue. Now let's look at the 17th question. The 17th question, if you see, it is with regarding to the National E-Governance Plan in Agriculture. The National E-Governance Plan in Agriculture, if you see, it is a central sponsored scheme launched in 2010-11 to achieve the rapid development via ICT for timely access to agriculture to farmers. Rapid development in ICT, because if you see, in these days, in these modern days, everything is actually linked to ICT. Without the information communication technology, getting something is very difficult, or getting the desired objective is very difficult. So in all the fields, the ICT is enhancing the productivity, efficiency and output as well. Be it the market planning, be it the soil productivity, be it whether in terms of analyzing the soil and also how much fertilizer to give, what is the market reach, okay, what are the new crops that can be grown. So all of these things require the use of the information communication technology, also to assess the climate patterns, also to disseminate information to the farmers. For all these things, what we need is a good ICT, information communication technology. So it is both from the government point of view and from the people point of view. The ICT is very helpful and it is very important. The National E-Governance Plan and Agri Digitization. Providing information and services to the farming community and private sectors and stakeholders via ICT to strengthen the delivery channels. This is provided by the Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmer Welfare and its agencies. Now the plan aims to, first is improve access to farmers to timely relevant information and services throughout the crop cycle. That means right from the beginning, right from the sowing of seeds till the time the crops reach the market, timely information will be passed on to the farmers so that they can use this information for the betterment of the crops. They can use this information for the betterment of the output. They can use this information to ensure that the crops reach the market in the right place in the right time. So, and this is provided through multiple delivery channels to access information, reducing the time between the generation and dissemination of information, and providing information to the farmers through uniform platform. The next one is bringing farmer centricity and service orientation to the programs by providing location specific and up-to-date crop management information. Increasing the effectiveness of the government service delivery in certification and licensing with respect to manufacturing via ICT, providing easier channels for grievances registration and tracking, effective management of the schemes of this via the process of redesign for effective monitoring of scheme and decreasing the time for data consolidation and reporting schemes. Also, enabling private sector participation for the benefit of the farmers to provide the integrated platform to promote value services in extension, marketing, post-harvest and storage. So for all these things, this will be very helpful. So ICT is helpful for private sector participation, for management of schemes, for disseminating information to the farmers, for increasing effectiveness of government service delivery and bringing farmer centricity and service orientation. All of these are the need. Now, under this National E-Governance Plan for Agriculture initiative, the department developed and made following platforms functional. One-stop window farmers portal for dissemination of information, matters like seed variety, storage godowns, pest and plant diseases, best agriculture practices, watershed, mandi details, etc. SMS Kisan portal for sending advisories on crop matter to registered farmers by the SME. 5 crore plus farmers are registered. Mobile apps like Kisan Suvidha to facilitate dissemination of information to the farmers on critical parameters like weather, market prices, the plant protection agro advisory. Besides this National E-Governance Plan for Agriculture, initiatives like creating national-wide farmers database for better planning and smooth implementation of farmer schemes and unified farmer service platform to enable seamless interoperability of various public and private IT systems in agriculture ecosystem across the country were launched. So these are the various government initiatives, right? So we have looked at the need and various initiatives as well. Now let's move on to the next question. The 18th question, which is on the minimum government, maximum governance. Governance is the way the decisions are made and how these decisions are implemented. So this is called as governance. And governance it is about how the power is exercised in managing the country's resources for development. So this can be the formal definition which you can use. Minimum government means the government machinery should be minimum and this should ensure maximum governance. This should ensure maximum governance which is people-centric and very effective. So this governance actually includes a lot of these elements like the responsiveness, accountability, transparency, participation, equity, rule of law, efficiency, the consensus-oriented decision making. All these things are part of this governance. Now, the various initiatives by the government to realize minimum government in India, it includes replacing Planning Commission with the Niti Aayog to foster cooperative federalism, and this Niti Aayog basically is a think tank which will help in minimum government, maximum governance. Moving away from license raj by ensuring that self-certification is allowed in compliance in manufacturing industries and environmental regulations. Next is scrapping up of inefficient bodies, example scrapping of All India Handicraft Board, Handloom Board and Powerloom Board. Next, the business is no more business of the government. It is realized through withdrawal of government from non-essential sectors through disinvestment, promoting private players and opening up of hitherto government monopolies like oil and gas exploration and production. Since 2014, 1486 laws were repealed by the Government of India according to the Law Ministry, and GST was brought in to simplify this indirect tax regime, and single window clearances was announced for the ease of doing business, so that people, it will become easy even for the investors as well. So these are the various initiatives by the government to realize this minimum government, maximum governance. Now the initiatives taken by the government, specific initiatives if you see, they are like the Jam Trinity, the Jandan Aadhaar Mobile. So this is basically used by the government even today for the direct benefit transfer. So this Jam Trinity ensures this direct benefit transfer, opening up of the bank accounts, the zero balance bank accounts by these people, that is the Jandan accounts, has ensured that people get access to the formal financial institutions, and because of this it has become easier for the people to withdraw money for their account, and also because of this the overall corruption in the system has reduced. And there are apps to check the construction status of the houses under the PM Awas Yojana, and also check and also audit the construction and things under this Manrega. Also usage of ICT to ensure transparency and timely delivery of services. Example, the e-office in the central ministry departments, e-way bill under GST, online auctioning of coal blocks and spectrum, digital life certificates for the pensioners. Also stop corruption. Example, the amendment of Prevention of Corruption Act 1988 to make bribe givers culpable for an offence. Next, capacity building among the service providers, which is where the government initiated Mission Karmayogi and envisaged continuous capacity building of every officer through digital mode. Next, the umbrella platforms if you see, for example, the National Recruiting Agency for conducting the common eligibility test to provide a level playing field to every job aspirant across the country. Better service delivery, where there is inclusion of citizens charter, grievance redressal, the Sevato model in the government functioning, and along with this the second ARC, which talks about smart governance, usage of technology to increase the efficiency of the governance, ensuring that the policies are implemented and monitored. You also have this Pragati platform for the stricter implementation or for the stricter monitoring of the all the government programs. So these are the various initiatives. Now next question, the 19th question, this is about the status of women post independence. Women, if you see, they are one of the vulnerable sections who are there in the society. Women are denied of their lot of rights, and also they are denied dignity in even in few areas today. Women organizations in India started working after the independence to improve or to raise the quality of women and also ensure that the education is promoted among women. So these women organizations in India, they are working to improve the status of women in India since independence. And if you see few ways in which it was done is, one of the first national level issues that brought women's groups together was the Mathura rape case in 1972. The protests forced the government to amend the Evidence Act, CRPC and IPC, and to create new offence, that is custodial rape. Later on it was carried on with the full vigour by the Mahila Dikshit Samiti, Stri Sangam Samiti, Socialist Women's Group, Feminist Network of Collective, etc. The NGOs campaigned for the laws like the Vishaka case, like the especially this prevention of sexual harassment at workplace, and this was also brought in. Even you can say this Supreme Court judgment in the Vishaka case also helped in bringing this the prevention of sexual harassment at women at workplace, against women at workplace. So this is another thing. Also the anti-Arak movement in Andhra Pradesh against alcoholism, Chipko movement, Narmada Bachao Andolan, they are also some of the classic examples of how women actually were leading for the conservation of environment. Next, against dowry, the Progressive Organization of Women, Hyderabad's first to organize a powerful movement against dowry in 1975. Self-Employed Women Association united these women workers in the unorganized sector, and they worked to provide social security to women workers. Against inflation, if you see, in 1973, United Women's Anti-Price Rise Front was formed in Maharashtra to mobilize women against inflation. It has spread into Gujarat, and it is called as the Navnirman movement. The Dalit women's rights led by these NGOs in UP like the Vanaganga, Manorama, etc. It was formed to fight against this untouchability, casteism, economic exploitation of the Dalit women. And also against social issues, if you see, women groups like Saheli, Vimocha, the Forum Against Oppression of Women, etc., they are working against these murderous attacks and intercaste property disputes, adultery, polygamy. Snehalaya is an NGO working towards raising awareness and providing safe shelter to women and children who are in need. Also, the Northeast Network is a network where women's rights organizations set up in 95, and they help in the overall rights of the women, especially they operate in this Northeast. Okay, so this is about the Northeast Network. Now, women, if you see, they are facing a lot of issues. This is also something which we need to know. The women issues include literacy. The women literacy is less than male literacy. Jobs, women are discriminated even in the job. Even for the same job, women are paid less compared to that of men. Political representation of women in India is very, very poor. The total representation in India is approximately 13%, which is very, very less. And also, there is the issue of this women's safety. Women's safety issue is there even at workplace, and also while they are going on while they are there in the society. For example, the rapes, molestation, and all. So this is also another case and another issue. Right, so these are the major issues, and various steps are being taken by the government. Various acts like the Disha Act and all are also passed by these state governments, so that women can be protected and women rights can be ensured. Now let's move on to the last question. That is 20th question, which talks about the self-help groups. Self-help groups. These are the informal groups, informal association of people, where people come together to find ways to improve their living standards. It can be defined as self-governed, peer-controlled information group with a similar socio-economic background and having a desire to collectively perform common purpose. So, SHGs rely on the notion of self-help to encourage self-employment and poverty alleviation. So that's why these SHGs, they are very, very important. The basic objective of self-help group is to build the capacity. Capacity building is one of the major objective. Capacity building among the people. Then also, in the self-help group, mostly the women are participated. So this capacity building will help the women understand the various nuances, and also it will empower them to set up various industries and also achieve profits. Basically, they will get access to the institutional credit. That is the major aim. The measures which are taken by the government to promote SHG in India are SHG Bank Linkage Program, where the banks have been advised to consider lending to SHGs as part of their mainstream credit operations and to identify branches having potential for linkage with the SHGs and provide necessary support. Next is the priority sector lending, where the government has included SHG as priority sector to mandate and enhance the banks to focus on them. Next, the Priyadarshini scheme, where it is aimed at women's empowerment through SHGs. NABARD is the nodal agency. Next, you have the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana and the National Rural Livelihood Mission. They seek to alleviate rural poverty by providing credit through multiple community institutions. The Mahila Kisan Sakshatkar Pariyojana, implemented by DAY National Rural Livelihood Mission, to promote agroecological practices, increasing women's farmers and income to reduce their input cost and risk. Other successful initiatives to promote SHGs, if you see, Kutumbashri in Kerala, Jivika in Bihar, Mahila Arthik Vikas Mahamandal in Maharashtra. So this also stands for MAVIM. Okay, so remember these examples as well. So these SHGs, if you see, they have broad uses. Rural poverty is one thing which we cannot deny. This rural poverty can be reduced by ensuring there is institutional credit and financial services. The women empowerment can be achieved through these SHGs because it is the women who will participate in them. There is gender equity and gender equality will be achieved. The voice of the marginalized will be heard as well. Now the SHG has following issues: poor financial assistance from formal channels, poor access to market, which is due to the lack of marketing skills. Most SHGs are in rural and far off areas and they have lack of connectivity, lack of training and capacity building, the poor outreach from the states for the skill development and capacity building. And most of the SHGs, they work with rudimentary and no technologies, so this is delaying their process. Also, there is political affiliation for the SHGs, and this is a serious problem because there will be conflicts among the group later on because of this. Right. So these are the questions for the day. We have discussed the question on SHG. We have discussed the status of women post-independence. We have discussed minimum government, maximum governance. We have discussed National E-Government Plan for Agriculture and the PM Jan Arogya Yojana. As we have discussed all of these things, please do like our video and share our video with your friends. Do leave your thoughts in the comment box. We will definitely meet in the next class and discuss some more questions from the next test. Okay? So that's it guys from my side. We'll meet again in the next session. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. Jai Hind.